people are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Do not come. Do not come.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat, our Sunday night shit show. How are you, my friend? What's happening?
I am as fabulous can get. For a straight man, you could be more fabulous if you're not a straight man.
There's always room for improvement.
But I don't know. No complaints. I normally like to get a local beer. Just to support the local breweries, but I found one that fit our show really well. Pirates.
I really admire and am grateful for your dedication to the theme. I love it.
Dedication to the cause.
What to say? Great nation. Great nation.
Great nation from or Notion. Might be Notion from Portland, Oregon. So it's sort of close, but not
close-ish. Close-ish.
Tasty.
Well, that's nice. I like it. I like it. Well, cheers and welcome everybody. Hello. We got Truth and 2Fs. Hello, Gwen. I love your pick with your mask. I was just asked, I was telling Pat recently again when I'm going to stop masking. I just don't feel like getting into that discussion at this point in the pandemic. Hi, Lee, Kimiko. Hello. Yeah. Hope. Who am I missing here? Lee and Carl, Zizu. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hey, Jay. And shout out to Portland, by the way, from 2Fs. The runs we got. Hello. And Kat. Daniel. Hello. Kat. All right. Hello. How is everybody? Just, the thing we always have to say and remind, please do make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. Hi, David. How are you?
Punch up that notification bell.
Punch it up. Yeah. I mean, I don't
know.
Lila,
how is your world? I don't know if we asked. I mean, you said the mask thing, but other than that, how's everything?
Thanks for asking. Look at you with the social niceties. It's good. Today's the first day in 3 weeks. Josh left 3 weeks ago. And the very next day was all like the mold and the appliance situation and the removal and the drywall. First day in 3 weeks where there's no work people and I can use my kitchen. It's excellent.
Clean air.
Clean air. Yeah.
The hesitant maskers who you said they did mask, right? You said put a mask on, please.
Yeah, I always make people mask and put booties on their shoes. When they were doing it though, they had their N95 stuff because they were dealing with mold.
That's a whole nother level. Yeah.
Sure. So that was great. And then also there were 3 huge air purifiers and filters because of the mold. So like I felt, and they were in a little quarter and there was a containment, but all of that is just a lot. Anyway, but I'm good. I am good.
Good. I am glad. And mold free. That's great to hear.
Yeah. I hope that is the case. I guess you sort of never know, but it's feeling good. And right now I'm just going to ignore it. I will be like the people who are pretending COVID's over. Yes, please do hit the like button. Thank you, Hope. And we're going to get to the bashing. I promise you, D. Martin.
I think Lego videos are now a permanent fixture, it seems like, until this war ends. So you can always count on at least 1 or 2 of those.
I mean, you got to. They're fantastic, some of them. And you know what's interesting is some of them who aren't being done, hey Wally, public, that aren't being done by the main 2, right? The Persia Boy and Explosive Media. There is a big difference, which like I know that they're using AI and I know like we hate AI. So this has been our one carve out right now. Even though we will still rail against AI 99.9% of the time. But then there's some other people who are creators who are trying to make these sorts of videos and they don't even like they don't even hold a candle to it. It's really interesting.
No, and there have been some sort of, animation is a cheap way to do it. I mean, with the AI, like you can give it a lot of prompts and it pulls off pretty decent animation, not gonna lie. But the creativity still isn't there. There's something about the use of the Legos and the cleverness of these two groups, I think, that really makes it.
Yeah. And the matching of the genre of music, the like intensity of the rhymes or the knowledge that's being pushed in there. I don't know. There's like a lot of cool stuff that I have to say we sometimes really do enjoy them quite a bit. Okay, we should get right to it though, because we do have a lot to cover. So let's spin. Oh, wait. No, let's cheers.
Cheers.
What do we
cheers
do?
Up.
How do we do it?
First, we have a reason to drink, and then we spin the wheel to drink again.
That's right.
That's how the show works.
That's right. Thank you. And you're Pat. Okay.
Leela.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God. Don't even say it wrong and put it in everybody's head. Remember when we had Shahid Buttar on like 4 times and he always mispronounced my name? And
the
I
guy
would say
who's always called Shahid instead of Shahid.
Yeah. But I didn't do that. Whatever.
No, I know.
Yeah. But like he should have an extra sensitivity towards it, especially because I would always be like, I'm Lila. This is Pat. Okay, this is Guido Reichstatter, and he is really putting in some admirable work staging a protest against our illegal war on Iran.
My name is Guido Reichstatter. I'm 45 years old. I'm a father of 2 children. I have a degree in master's degree in math and physics. Now I'm on top of this bridge because the government of the United States is engaged in acts of mass murder in my name, and I refuse to be complicit in that. I mean, it's an atrocity, right? I mean, I woke up on February 28th and I found this school children been blown apart. I think there are many millions of Americans who reject the war in principle, but whose actions have not yet been sufficient to bring it to an end. I think it represents to me the depths of evil and the absolute unacceptability of the crimes that we're witnessing. President of the United States, the man occupying the office of the President of the United States, said that we would witness a civilization being destroyed. And it's abominable. It's our power and it's our responsibility to stop it.
So he has been there since Friday. I don't know what he's sleeping on or how he makes sure it's secure. Nothing there looks secure. It's windy. He's in the middle of nowhere. Like, it just feels so treacherous.
It looked like he free climbed up there too. I didn't see any protections or restraints of any sort. Did you?
Oh my God. I thought I did see some cables, but
okay, good. I hope so.
And he has to fasten whatever he's sleeping in and his food also, right? Like, and going to the bathroom. I mean, sorry, like I'm always like my contacts and going to the bathroom would be rough.
Yeah.
But
Well, I know a lot of climbers who've slept on the side of mountains on those little makeshift tents, like on the wall.
Stand it. I hate it.
It's insane. But I mean, I have a feeling the guy's a climber, but that's just
I'm sure
amazing that he would do this for the cause. And his emotion is so clear, and we all feel that. But like he was driven to do this radical thing because we have to get as radical as we can at this point to get something done.
So amazing. I think it was David who said that you won't see this on CNN. I don't watch CNN, so I don't know. But like when you look at what our media is focused on, you're going to get like our 300th essay on Hassan Piker and his evils or whatever. And, this guy is actually calling an attention to our war criminal president, which they should be doing if they were doing their job. Now, today, he put out a tweet, like to end the war with Iran and end AI. So I feel a little bad showing this, but Lego right away, or we'll see which one it is because they have their little logo, but put out their little tribute to him. Explosive media. So it's not like a huge banger, but it's just to say we see you and thank you.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But the emotion there, because how do we process what we're complicit in? Like, especially the more we know. Like, it's unforgivable how long I didn't know about things when I was younger, but now we all know, and it still is happening, Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, no, it speaks to your point in that it used to be about educating people on what's going on. And now we got to pivot to how we get people to realize that doesn't even matter now, because they're not switching their positions on this in the face of losing their own elections.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't matter for their own elections, for these narcissist fucks, own political survival, because they can get money other ways, but like, that's not enough. So just educating people doesn't do it. One more Democrat in California doesn't do it. So, where's our power? It's in protests. It's in stopping the economy somehow. It's in fucking Luigi's. It's in this guy. It's, that's our power.
That is our power. Well, cheers to him. And it is crazy with his 4 kids, which I know somebody remarked on, like that might be the whole reason that he's able to, this feels like a better alternative to spending another weekend with my 4 kids. No,
camping.
Yeah. Father of 4, public domain said it. Yeah. It's, I do wonder what his wife is feeling about this and his kids, but maybe he's very safe and it's all fine. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, admirable for sure. And absolutely a hero. And,
hey, look, the people at their lowest, I'm just going to say it. Before you take yourself out, if you're one of these people, help society somehow, like if I've got a terminal illness, you're going to know my name.
Use me as an example in the future. That's right. Capitalize on the way I go out. Please.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. All right.
Your choice. What do you want?
You choose.
Oh, geez. All right. Let's just go with the first one. Dave Colombo.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No, God, please, no.
All right, everybody, it's really simple. The violent rhetoric on the left has to stop, or we're going to end up like one of those civilizations the president threatened to annihilate back to the Stone Age with his Department of War. And let's be clear, joking about death should cost you your job, but announcing who you're glad is dead is the refreshing candor the American people voted for. Shouting every day for 6 years that they stole an election, that's one man's opinion, but calling that behavior fascist, that's a threat to democracy, and was the kind of incitement that caused this guy to run into the building brandishing the things that we don't want laws regulating. And the Secret Service, they did their job perfectly, which is why we really need the ballroom for extra protection the president didn't need more of, because it would be terrible to ruin another evening celebrating the journalism we call you evil for reporting. The First Amendment is important for all of us, because without it, I don't think we could call you piggy. So, the left really needs to dial it down and find their humanity. Now, does anybody have any questions about the fact that we brought back firing squads?
Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. I mean, again, you know, people doing the job that the media is supposed to be doing in what's supposed to be a democracy.
And
you know.
I mean, also, I got to say, you know, independent folks doing the job that the big comedians should be doing as well. And the big network comedy shows and late night comedy shows, you know, I mean, this guy's joke isn't just about Trump. It's about the media as well, I think.
Absolutely.
You know, that's why I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Because just Trump is kind of low hanging fruit, even though he is incredibly dangerous, but it, you know, just the same thing that they try to do about Israel, that it's just Netanyahu's government. No, it's not. This is Zionism. This is capitalism in the United States. And Trump, you could take Trump out and you would still have to go down a very long list until you got to somebody who truly is up to the task of running a country. So let's hear.
You have to Luigi about 300 people, probably.
I mean, I feel like you got to expand your list a little bit, Pat.
Maybe
that's the first week.
Yeah.
You got a lot ahead of you on that front. Okay. Here is Trump just like talking out loud, saying shit that should get him sent to the Hague for sure. And nobody cares anymore because after, honestly, oh my God. All right. Like Obama didn't get war power resolutions to do Libya or Yemen or Syria or Somalia, or like, this is not just Trump, but because he doesn't wear his tan suit and talk in poetry, it's just more obvious, and it is horrific. But this is not just Trump. But anyway, here he goes.
And there was no response. Turn your ship around. Evacuate your engine room immediately. And you see all these guys running out of there. Now, they're 5 miles away. And one shot into the engine room, blew up the engine room. The ship stopped. They used tugboats. And then we landed on top of it. On top of everything else, we then land on top of it. And we took over the ship. We took over the cargo, took over the oil. It's a very profitable business. Who would have thought we were doing that? We're like pirates. We're sort of like pirates. But we're not playing games because, you know, for 47 years, Iran has been pushing everybody around. They're the bully.
So don't call it a war, but you can call it a business. What's he talking about? This is a business?
Yeah, and you can openly say we're pirates. We're just stealing shit at this point. We're just stealing shit. That's what we're doing in the sea or not. Like with Venezuela, with like
absolutely
natural resources hey, if we let this go, Greenland is going to fall. Like it's just.
I mean, you know, now they're saying Cuba's next. Like here we are. With little Marco. Yeah. Cannot get enough of all of this. So let's just get to this part quickly about his negotiating ability. If this is too low, I will pull it right away. But some of our volume audio is just kind of weird. 1 second.
In your letter to Congress, you said the hostilities in Iran
Oh, it's a very friendly blockade. Nobody's even challenging it. Nobody at all is challenging it. Just so you understand, many presidents have been involved in things that are very big. They never had to go through anything with respect to Congress. They considered it to be totally unconstitutional. And the Democrats in Congress that push this, and probably a couple of Republicans, they're hurting our negotiating ability, which is infinite right now. And they shouldn't be doing it. It's never happened before. No other president's done it. And I'm not going to be the first. Thank you very much.
Look, friendly blockade is crazy. First off.
Yeah. It's an act of war, what we're doing. That is an act of war.
These are international waters. We don't own them. We don't have any contractual agreement at all either. Like there's no like sort of, this is geography 101. There's water. We aren't entitled to it.
Yeah.
Like,
but we want it.
Are entitled to a certain distance off their shoreline, period. End of story. But I don't know if you've seen the map. We are not close to this.
So that's what's really interesting is more and more people are calling out the fact that we've already we lost this war. Trump is now doing this weird like psyop thing where he said or whatever, trying to engineer disarray in Iran, who of course they're suffering. We've slaughtered with Israel thousands of their citizens. We hit schools and universities, medical facilities. I mean, truly,
there's nothing that would win the people over there. You can't Lego video our way to it.
But also we can't
reverse
beat
Lego
them. Yeah. We can't beat them. We lost. Like, as you said, the geography of the land, also the geography of the Strait of Hormuz and how close they are to it, the mines that are underneath, the ability of their ballistic missiles to hit our ships that are however many nautical miles away, 200 or whatever it is. Like, that is it. Like, we lost. And so now when he does a thing, they're all in disarray. They don't accept something. Then they do accept. Then we're going to go to Islamabad. Nope, we're not. Now we're not going. It's too far away. And I don't think anybody is falling for it anymore. So much so that even CNN put out a clip about the devastation that Iran was able to carry out against our military bases in the Middle East. And that I think about when what was he bombing Syria in his first administration, and Brian Williams said something
bombs,
about tonight's the night that he really became president, and also like the beauty of the rockets in the air, like it's a fireworks show. Like normally they would be full on behind these illegal efforts, and they're not, because I think they're realizing, even if they won't say it flat out, we are all in trouble because of this.
No, I don't think they're realizing. I think they're getting the word from their people that it's bad for their specific donors at CNN. Like, this is bad for the global economy, which is bad for our economy, which is bad for everyone other than Trump's people.
Yeah. And all of that, because the economy, and we're going to talk about it, is horrific. Our military is like depleted. So this was the graphic. What was this on? Okay, so this was MS Now. The status of our munitions and how long it takes to make them. Okay. So Tomahawks, we had 3,100 before the war. We've used over 1,000, and it takes 4 years to make. I'm going to pronounce all of these incorrectly, but it doesn't really matter, except that all the numbers on the far right are either 4 years minus 6 months or above. So 38 months, 42 months and above. That's almost 4 years to replenish what we have exhausted in 3 weeks or 2 weeks of the war, when we were actually actively fighting. We cannot re-enter this war the way we need to, unless we do something truly horrific, which is what I'm really terrified of.
we don't need to, is the thing. But even that stat, you know, I look at that and I think, oh, the military industrial complex loves to see that stat put up, because that means they can start production on fucking billions of dollars. That's going to make them billions of dollars. Regardless, if we ended it today, they're like, this has been a huge success.
Yep.
Which is part of why the people around Trump are for it, because it's making these people who push a lot of money towards politics a fuck ton of money.
Even these guys, his sons, who own a company that just did a deal with the Air Force. I mean,
it's so in our face.
Yeah. It is reprehensible. And I mean, listen, I don't know right now what Democrats could actually do, should do, that would be truly helpful. I would just be sitting in front of a microphone and as many screens on my face talking about all of this in response to every time, you know, Kristen Welker had Attorney General Todd Blair, acting Attorney General. You know, she didn't push back on any of his lies. Why didn't she have that graphic? Why didn't she say that's a lie? We can't do anything. We are halfway depleted from our munitions from 3 weeks of fighting. Did not say anything.
Yeah, I can't speak to the press, but as far as, you know, the Democrats, they're still in the let them cook, let this be disastrous. And also, hey, we get money from the people that are going to remake all those bombs, replenish all the stock.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, we're going to be too against this, because if I'm too against this, well, I'm going to lose a little support behind the scenes. I won't get that check from Raytheon.
Yep. I mean, that is why, if anybody truly cares about democracy, we just have to end any sort of, corporate influence. Like we have got to put, there just have to be severe regulations so that we can try to have some semblance of democracy, because this is not it. None of it. I get all like the daily briefing things from Politico and Axios and all those, and each one, it's either, you know, promoted by, or not promoted by, like this daily briefing is funded by, and it's either some, you know, AI, Anthropic or OpenAI or whatever, or it's, as you said, like a defense manufacturer. But by the way, like at this point, they're all sort of the same. So like, of course, I don't trust anything they say. How could you trust anything they're saying? And that's also who sponsors all of our politicians.
Yeah. And if you want to win an election, it's easy. It's not hard anymore. You have to buck what the Democratic Party wants to run on, which means you're going to get attacked by the Democrats. But if Democrats as a party had a soul, you would just win and sweep like a motherfucker in the midterms and sweep like a motherfucker in 2028 by being against this war and being against Gaza and saying we're turning the page on this entirely. I mean,
I know. I don't want somebody to like clip it and be like, "Oh, Pat says you should be against Gaza."
I don't know. That's how you get your views up. You clip something and we go back and forth and we clip them out of context and we have thousands of viewers over
the whole fake news. You know, there was, and so just, you know, there's been a little bit last week there. Pete Hegseth was in congressional hearings for 2 days in a row. Sarah Jacobs, I thought had, was it Sarah Jacobs? No, it was Representative Takuda who challenged him on the fact that he fired and like shut down the civilian harm reduction department. So you can't talk about how we don't target civilian infrastructure after you do 3 strikes on the same school, your very first hit, a day of war. But you also got rid of anybody who might push back on any part of it, who might have some actual knowledge of how to read the, you know, Google Maps that you were looking at. I mean, some of our munitions apparently were spent on decoys that were completely like either CGI-ish or like 3D printed decoys that looked like planes of Iran that even had like a heat value to it, so that it really seemed like a, it wasn't just like
Yeah.
a picture of something.
A fake target to get them
Yeah.
to spend money on a
Yeah.
missile.
Like
Right.
at this, if you don't have some way of combating the fact that, fine, okay, China is probably helping them with their radar and their intelligence. Why haven't we developed those things? What are we developing? Think like something that costs $1 billion and, takes 4 years to make. By the way, I don't want to develop any of this. I hate all of it, but like, let's slash the Pentagon budget. None of this works anyway.
Well, look, capitalism is not the innovation center people think it is. It's so corrupt that, like, it's not even like you could have that solution that would fix things and be good, but you're not in with the good old boys club, making money, bribing politicians at the top.
All those
so
no-bid
it'll never
contracts.
get picked up. It's just like, yeah, we know this plane doesn't work, but we're still selling it to the government because we know I have a list of 75 senators willing to vote for this bill.
Yeah.
That funds our missile that, 40 out of 75 no doesn't work, or our plane or whatever it is.
Right.
It's just
you don't want to put all those people out of work. They're going to say that, as on the other hand, they're supporting AI and data centers that are being, constructed solely to get rid of the labor force.
Hey, Macarius, I don't know where you're getting that.
I feel like every show we say voting won't get us out of here.
I'm like, voting is something you should do, and who you vote for, I don't give a fuck. But like, I'm not lobbying for anything within the Democratic Party. I mean,
I could go back probably,
as a
like, I think
solution.
at this point we've had about 400 shows and say that in most of them, one of us has said we're not voting our way out of this. But anyway,
yeah, it's like you could copy and search. Anyway, I don't get that. I don't get how people
that's definitely not how we are thinking. I promise. But also, this is how Hegseth responded when he could not come up with a satisfying answer.
How do I explain to my constituents that while they are in harm's way, their commander-in-chief is posting these unhinged posts?
How did you explain to your constituents what happened on October 7th?
There you go. Beautiful. Done. Just bring up October 7th. Any chance you get.
It's wild how badly he did, and then how badly RFK Jr. did recently in front of Congress. And it's the same thing as you were talking about. Like, okay, you literally unfunded all of the COVID shit. And you're like talking about how it's an imperative to you because your daughter has long COVID. Was it his daughter or somebody, wife? Or,
one of his children. Yeah, no, one of his children, maybe a son, but yeah.
Yeah, has long COVID. So it's really important to him. But you also just defunded all the testing, the government spending on the testing for long COVID. So, I mean, this is the playbook. And that's why he's the most useful idiot that ever existed in government, because he's dumb enough to believe like all the shit he says, and they just use it.
Yeah. It's so strange the way, I mean, like I think I try hard not to talk about people's physical appearances or their physical realities. Like I would not normally talk about the quality of his voice, but you cannot be like completely disemboweling our whole public health system and be the antithesis of a specimen of health yourself. Like you can't. And it's not enough that you're all like jacked up on your roids or whatever the hell in your jeans lifting weights. Like, cause that doesn't even look healthy to me. That just looks like somebody who is on some kind of steroids or whatever. And like, like always at the gym. Like he's a mess and he's destroying our health. Yeah.
Anyone at the gym in jeans is a sociopath.
Yeah, totally.
And then if you go with the jeans and shirtless, you're like, if you're wearing the jeans, at least at the gym with your normal shit, you're like, oh, I'm comfortable anyway, whatever. But you took your shirt off, which means you were hot or sweaty or something. So that doesn't go with your jeans. He
doesn't want to have to change after he works out before he goes to work. That's what he said.
So he takes off his shirt so he doesn't sweat his shirt up, and everybody else just has to smell his sweaty ball sack through his jeans.
I
Like,
mean,
what are we?
he's just
Sorry.
disgusting. No,
I
truly
don't want that
disgusting.
imagery,
Truly awful. And then I will never get out of my head the image of him being scurried off by Secret Service while poor Cheryl
He's
Hines,
left his
poor
wife.
whatever, like she's with him. So that's, her choice. But yeah, just like totally left behind. She had to scramble out of there on her own. I mean, I know we've gone back and forth about the possibility of whatever it was that happened with this shooter. I have no idea. But I do think no matter what, most of those people were fearing for their lives. Like they didn't know. You don't know. Like you hear gunshots, you don't know, and you're like scrambling out of there, and your husband just jets off without you. Crazy. So here is where we are with the global oil shortage because of this blockade. This doesn't look great. The world faces a catastrophic cliff edge shortage of oil due to the Strait of Hormuz blockade in the next 4 weeks. Analysts warn this will cause a deep recession, fuel rationing, the shutdown of entire industries, and oil prices potentially as high as $370 per barrel. What are they now? Like $200 a barrel? But also what he writes is that the drop of 9 million barrels per day, which was caused by the COVID pandemic, which, certainly made everybody think and re-examine things and stock up on paper towels or whatever. This is way beyond that. This is that red bar on the graph on the right. Each of the 3 previous worldwide recessions or oil crises, 1973-74, 1979-83, and 2008-9, oil demand was reduced by no more than 5 million barrels a day. So we are now at over 10 or 11 million barrels a day decrease. And of course, that affects everything. Again, even if for some reason it all opened up today, we are behind 2 months. And, I know, like, I don't know enough about like the chemistry of all of it, but like some of the oil that has
We don't have the refineries that would refine certain kinds of oil.
Say it again.
No. Well, even though we produce a lot of our own oil and most of our oil comes from Canada,
right?
This impacts the global production of oil, which increases our cost of oil.
Right.
And refineries have to be equipped for the particular kind of oil. You can't just take a refinery and switch it over to another.
And also, like, I think there is something also in the oil that's been held that hasn't been allowed to move through the straits. I don't know that it can last forever the way it's being stored. Like there are downstream effects of this beyond just that, like, okay, now if we get everything up and running, but even then, like production stopped and then people don't get paid. The situation with fertilizer, right? Right now, I think something like 70% of US farmers don't have the right amount of fertilizer for their crops. Well, we don't notice that today, but in 6 months, again, even if everything opens out, like the planting time that's now is being missed, right?
But, just knowing capitalism, what's going to happen is that's going to be a reason to green light Dow Jones's new product to spray on all of our food supply.
100%.
Or something.
100%.
And the real impact of the oil shortage, even if it is only 3 months and we have to catch up and it takes, a year to catch up or whatever, disaster capitalism, all the prices of everything go up, period, even if it doesn't impact the delivery of their product, because it's an opportunity to raise the prices and use that as an excuse. So it fucks us the mostest.
Always.
As the
even though now like they're suing to get the tariffs price hike that they had to deal with, which they right away offloaded the increase in cost to consumers, but then now they're going to get payback from the government, which by the way is our money. So
I want some shrinkflation back. I want Lay's to send me like 20 potato chips, like
for every bag you've had since then. Thank you.
Right.
To
You know
us.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like everything we bought that had way less in it and they got money off of it because of the pandemic. It's the same shit they're doing already with this.
100%. Yeah. Thank you to us. The mold left your home and went to RFK's gym jeans. I mean, honestly, the image of that is making me vomit in my mouth. But that's good. And thank you. Cheers. Yeah. And nobody is dealing with this. There was a study or a poll that came out last week that said people now feel like they were doing better under Bidenomics than they do under Trump, their economic situation, which of course is true. But this is where that lesser evil voting, it's like, well, I guess we got to go back to that other group that also didn't really propose anything that was helpful for any of us.
Absolutely. And it's just a slope downward for how fucked we are. And yeah, the last guy's always going to be better because we're on such a downward slope that it's worse now. Oh, it's worse now. It's worse now than 4 years ago. Well, that must mean we got to vote for the thing 4 years ago. No, you got to vote for something that existed fucking 30 years ago, 40 years ago, something new. You got to flip over the fucking government, really. But
I mean, yes, that is really what has to happen. And once again, nobody's proposing that, unfortunately. So just to go back, so, the other thing that while Trump keeps saying we're really close on negotiations, we've got, what did he say? A perfect negotiation blockade, whatever. Iran is dealing with other countries. I think that's the other part of the global depression that, the CEO class, capitalist class is worried about. But the other part is the realignment of big powers. And clearly Iran is going to emerge from this along with China, Russia, India, right? So that also, I mean, honestly, on some level, it probably doesn't matter because these people don't have borders, right? The billionaire class, the Epstein class, they can make deals anywhere. But I do think that it feels uncomfortable for a lot of people if we are not the global hegemon and if the dollar isn't the global hegemon.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it all happening. It's not, theoretical. It's happening in front of us. We just pulled 30,000 or 40,000. I don't know what's the number of troops out of Germany, right? And they're presenting that as if it's like a Trump, being spiteful with the German leader, but really, you look at the economy and our troop shortage and our bomb shortage and whatnot. It's like that was probably a forced move, and they calculated what do we do. Yep. But even regardless of the motive, okay, so now we're not based in Germany anymore. Right. So how does that help our stated goals of being basically the police of the world and protecting,
Yeah, I don't think
democracy. He
has any sort of true ideology apart from just looking out for numero uno. He just wants to make money, and he doesn't have a handle on truly how things are affected. The blockade that's happening right now. And I mean, there were reports, I don't know that they've been totally substantiated, but that last weekend, the defense cabinet had to get him out of the Situation Room because he was talking about using nukes.
The nukes. Yeah.
I mean, I just think he is so impulsive and he acts like a little toddler throwing a tantrum. He doesn't really have a long-term thought. So now he's like, oh, it's tariffs. We're going to take over Greenland and we're disbanding NATO, which, by the way, I am fine with disbanding NATO. But yes, you're right that what does that do for U.S. hegemony, which I'm fine with, but I don't think he is really. I don't think this was his plan.
Well, I don't know about his plan. You got to go back to your core statement that he's, unaffected by all this, right? Yeah. So he's got a way to get rich. I mean, when the guy when we have legalized betting that the people in power can fucking place money on a bet, whether Trump fucking farts on Mike ever in his career or something, and get rich, and there's no consequence to it. All this guy's ever cared about is money and ego and people rubbing his tush the right way when they're around
Yeah.
him, you know?
Yeah.
So like that part doesn't faze him, and we can't act like he's a big piece of the Republican Party in the sense that he cares about what happens to them even.
Right.
I
Oh
mean, he
no,
can
I
sink
mean,
the whole
yeah.
Republican Party and not give a fucking rat's ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then, like, you know, thinking about like, oh, moving forward, like if you were somebody in power and you wanted to try to safeguard, because this isn't good for anybody. It's not good that he got us out of the JPCOA. It's even worse that Biden didn't get us back in, right? Because then what that shows is it's not an anomaly. We have a structural problem, which I know we all know, but like Biden did not get us back in. So we were already worlds better with Iran after, like, it's probably the one really good thing that Obama did, right? Was the JCPOA, I think. But so
No, I think you're right. As a leftist, you know, lifting a lot of the sanctions, giving them their money,
and
allowing
Cuba,
them to,
right? Yeah.
to you know, be independent. And you know, if you want to bring peace into the world, you got to let countries do their own shit. And when you act like a bully and control their money, and you know,
right.
So yes, that was all good in my opinion.
And so, like, the fact that Biden then didn't get us back into the deal, didn't alleviate the sanctions on Cuba, right? Like all of the things. And I think, you know, nobody trusts us, because even though they might say, like, you know, I hear this in the media that other nations can't trust us because they thought Trump was an anomaly, but then he was voted back in again. And what they always leave out is, like, with the complete complicity of the Democratic Party. So anybody who's actually like taking a step back and watching the way we do business and the way we attack other countries because they have the audacity to want to own their own resources for the betterment of their own people, like, that is such an affront to US empire that we refuse to abide by that, you know? So anyway, I think, yes, it would be better if Europe got its shit together. I mean, Jeffrey Sachs says this to them all the time. Stop depending on the US. Stop your war with Russia. Like, what is that? Because that's the other thing is, yeah, Germany is in really dire straits right now, primarily because we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. But then also, I guess there was just like Richard Medhurst just posted this, and I haven't had time to look through it, but you know, there's been like a $3 trillion deal with some US company to resupply their energy now. But like the only focus that all of these Western countries has is on war and like disciplining anybody who wants to take care of his own people, or any country that wants to use its own resources and not be completely ravaged by the US.
It's true. I mean, none of this stuff is good for our economy or the global economy, or even most of the donors to both parties, right? But this system allows the people at the top making all the decisions to find the donors that will pay them. So they're not as impacted by even the effect on all their own donors, because they can find the chevrons, as Makarios brought up, that are out there that have endless supplies of money for them.
Yeah, this is going great for them.
Right. So there are groups that will profit from anything bad that happens. And if they have the power to give the money to our leaders, they will. Our system allows it.
Oh man. Yeah, it's not good. Like, understatement of the year. Okay, so just wanting to see, I mean, I don't know, do we get a little bit of Lego in here before we spin? A little Hormuz tax?
That's safe in case the wheel doesn't bring joy, because sometimes the wheel doesn't even bring joy anymore.
I take full responsibility.
Spin the wheel of depressing shit.
All right, no more here's from Lila.
Legos. Let's go. No.
Yeah. Homeless clothes. Listen up. Yeah. Homeless tax. Homeless tax. Ain't the 20 billion every single day, facts. Homeless tax, homeless tax. You losing way more than Iran ever pays. Yeah, Iran loses couple million, that's the daily cost. But the world loses 10 times more, you getting lost. US gets hit 7 billion every day. Plus extra gas prices making voters run away. Midterms coming soon, you think the fake assassination saves you? Seashells and ballroom drama ain't gonna save you. People feeling the pain in their wallet and they tank. Homeless tax on America, watch your numbers tank. Homeless tax, homeless tax. 8 to 20 billion every single day, facts. Homeless tax, homeless tax. Fake assassination won't save you. That's a rap. Sacred defense. Yeah, we see you. Sacred defense.
You know, and that's the other thing. If we had regulations on how much the CEOs could make in proportion to their least paid workers, the way they do in some countries, this wouldn't all be offloaded to us. Like already, you know, we know that the CEO class, you know, the K-shaped economy, all that kind of stuff, they are making so many times more than what they used to make, and they've gotten used to it. And that number always just has to go up. That's it. So when this
and AI,
happens, it's not like, oh, could you just take $1 billion less in salary this year so that we all don't have to pay $10 a gallon for gas? Nope, not happening.
I mean, they can not only can they not maintain the current system and just cut their pay, keep your same pay, right? But you don't have to lay off 30,000 workers to replace with AI, right? Some countries, China, I shared it the other day, but China just passed. Well, no, a judge just ruled in China that you can't lay off employees without judging it. So you can't replace an employee with AI without just to save money.
Right. Exactly.
That cannot be your motivation.
Yeah.
Like how do we not have that contract started? No,
freedom.
Democrats, this is a huge issue you could bring up. This could be like your whole thing, and you could almost win on that instead of just the genocide and war. But you know, of course, that's
where are you going to get that sweet money from? Not happening. Jessen, Israel won't put boots on the ground. Trump is just a useful idiot with cannon fodder. 100%, because every president before him for the last 47 years has been pressured by Israel to go to war with Iran, and somehow they've all been able to resist the temptation or the lie that it was going to be some easy 3-day thing. Thank you for your super chat and for being a member for 5 months. Illegal to be homeless according to the Supreme Court. Yeah. And that's why those detention centers are not being built for migrants. They are being built for all of us. And that is horrifying. And cheers and thank you. And yes, Jen, I totally agree. They do a really good job making those young men appealing in the Lego toys.
Do they? Jeez. Can you imagine if I said that Lego was hot? Look at her rack or something. Listen to you ladies. We
didn't say
we have permission to grovel over Legos.
That's because you escalated up. We didn't like pick apart. I said appealing. She said hot as fuck, but like did not objectify parts of his body you immediately jumped to.
I almost broke up with a girlfriend at one point who was mad that I said a mannequin was hot when we're in Vegas. I was like, that mannequin is hot. And she got so salty over it.
Oh, really? That's so funny. She was jealous of a mannequin.
Yeah. She was, yes.
Well, some of them are pretty.
I mean, it was anyway.
Yeah.
All right, enough.
All right. We're gonna
that wheel.
We're moving on to a joy, maybe.
Joy indeed.
Second. All right, let me just spin it again. Oh, come on. All right. I got it. Okay. Wait a second. Stop. Oh my God. All right. Pat, call an audible. Call an audible because I only brought two bottles of wine to the. To
All
my
right.
office.
Oh, Strike is here. So that's a sign for puppets, I think.
Okay, good.
Let's see. We got which one? Oh, it's at the bottom. Raccoons. I love raccoons. Here's some raccoons.
Love it.
You look so cute.
The blind one.
Oh, what the?
Wait, can you just bring raccoons into the house?
You have them as a pet?
Yeah.
I don't know the laws on pets, but like a lot of people think that they're like rabbit or whatever, but they are super low, like they're very protected from rabies, so that they're safe, you know.
Okay.
They
and they're like nice and gentle.
Some are, some aren't. So occasionally they'll be in packs that are mean and attack animals. Like I thought my cat was getting killed by a pack of raccoons once, but they were killing something else right outside of my place. But they're pretty friendly, and sometimes they'll go after cats, but only in packs and only selective packs. Like what I was going to say, for example, when I was a kid, we had a whole family of them living under our house.
Right.
And they would come out every night and in a line go to the cat food. Right. And if you turn the lights on, they'd all freeze. They always do that thing where they're in line.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that's true because I've seen people post stuff like that and I never know if anything is.
1000% they do that. But the funny thing is our cats eventually coexist with them somewhat. And they would try to eat cat food with their hands, and they don't have the opposable thumbs. So they would just like
scoop into
cat food would just keep falling out of their paws.
Right. That's funny. Right. That's very funny. All right. I'm seeing people saying that that's not a good idea. Jen especially like recommends against.
Yeah, I don't.
Josie says that raccoon poop is toxic, but like in a different way from how other poo is is toxic. Like to eat, or if you like, even if it's near you.
Eating if it's dry or something. I don't.
All right. I don't know. You can't. I tried. All right. Wild animal. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Most animals that aren't commonly domesticated should not be.
Yeah.
Because
there's a reason.
Like a lot of people get some of those cute things and then they're up all night because they're nocturnal. And so how does that work out if you have a nocturnal pet?
That's all you need to say, because forget that. I need my sleep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. But those are really, really cute when you see it. I like it when I see
adorable.
It. Okay. So I am not sure which thing to move into right now. I just thought that this was a very interesting story out of the UK, and it kind of feeds into our own Democratic Party here and how they can't stand anybody to the left of them, and also the use of any attack or perceived attack on Jews can be used then to like shut down any criticism of genocide, right? Like that seems to be like they're sticking with that, even though we know that most of these protests are completely peaceful. And even if they're not, like, aren't anywhere close to the destruction, devastation, and brutality of the Israeli government. But the media is very focused on the perceived feelings of unsafe safety by their Jewish citizens, and also that anti-Semitism is on the rise, right? So this is also happening in the UK, where, you know, the Palestine Action has been prescribed as a terrorist organization. So this happened, I think, on Friday. A man stabbed 2 Jewish men. So he appears in court charged with attempted murder of 2 Jewish men. That's the focus. Then we find out, like way down in the paragraphs, that the man appeared in court charged with the attempted murders of 3 people, not 2, during 2 knife attacks in London. Essa Suleiman, 45, is accused of stabbing 2 Jewish men in Golders Green on Wednesday, having already attacked another man over a personal dispute in South London. The prosecutor, Emma Haraway, told the court Suleiman had attacked Ismail Hussein at his home in Southwark. Ismail Hussein is a Muslim man. That somehow wasn't in the main media. Even when the Met Police put out the fact that they had arrested this man, a man will appear in court today charged following a counterterrorism policing investigation into 2 men stabbed. Again, they do not mention that he actually stabbed 3 men, one of whom was Muslim. Asal Rod, who always does such a great job of putting this together, post after post, just ignore the 3rd victim, who happens to be Muslim. This is what they call impartial journalism. And again, it's Sky News, it's AP, it's BBC, it's Reuters, all just talking about UK man appears in court over stabbing of 2 Jewish men, over and over and over. We will show the video, but there's a little backstory to the clip that we have of the video of the police arresting this man, which was disgustingly brutal. Okay. So, sorry. Where did I just go here? All right. I'm sorry. There was somebody who posts, so essentially his officers, because Mark Rowley, I think, is the head of the Met Police, said that the 45-year-old suspect has a history of serious violence and mental health issues, not of anti-Semitism, but of actually stabbing his own Met Police. I think in 2008, he stabbed 2 police officers and a police dog in 2008. But again, unless the dog and the police officers were Jewish, this feels more like somebody who is having a mental health crisis or a violent episodes, you know. So we're going to show you the video in a second, but just as the background, because Keir Starmer weighed in, as did every major political official in the UK, and J.K. Rowling and Sky News and the BBC. But anyway, so this woman, Anne Greensmith, says, so essentially his officers were repeatedly and violently kicking a mentally ill man in the head when he was already incapacitated by a taser. Very faint above that is Zack Polanski, who is the leader of the Green Party, who also happens to be Jewish, reposting.
That's so depressing. Right.
Well, no, she is saying this was police brutality.
And okay.
And he reposts that.
Gotcha.
Okay. He reposts that because, and here is, content warning. It is very violent. A lot of people did witness it. And Keir Starmer chooses to attack Zack Polanski. But here's the split screen. So avert your eyes because it's awful.
When I did see Zack Polanski come out and retweet or support a criticism of that, I think it's disgraceful. I've no doubt in my mind that those officers probably thought their own lives were at risk. And if you see the footage, there's a lot of people in the scene as well. Now, that didn't turn out to be the case, thankfully. But this is the thing about policing. And I learnt it firsthand in Northern Ireland when I was working with the police over there. I sat in the control rooms when they were making decisions about operational matters. You have to make a decision in that split moment according to the situation as you understand it to be. And for politicians to wade in, as Zack Polanski did, is disgraceful. He's not fit to lead any political party.
I mean, that is horrifying. The man's on the ground. They've tasered him. He's done. They're kicking his head. They're stomping on his head. It's horrifying, I think. Horrifying, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I just
look.
Yeah.
Yes, clearly. I mean, once you have tased the guy, he's at no. So their justification is going to be that he still had the knife in his hand.
Right.
Okay. But you have a containment circle around him. You can get that out without kicking him in the head 58 fucking times. You could tase him another time, give him a heart attack with tasing him too much or something, but you don't have to give him brain damage. I mean,
okay. So the day that this happens, sorry, I know I'm trying to like get all of the facts in here because it just keeps spiraling. The day that this happens, Zack Polanski writes, horrendous attack in Golders Green, thinking of the victims, their families, and everyone who will once again be shaken by this attack. That's what Zack Polanski writes. Zach Goldsmith, who is the ex-UK Foreign Office Minister for the International Environment, Climate, Forest, Ocean, whatever, big Zionist, says, Zack Polanski's Green Party is one of the greatest threats to Jewish people in the UK. He has offered up his Jewishness as a tool for mass laundering of anti-Semitism. He's done so not because he's anti-Semitic, but because he is an opportunist and is tapping into a large and growing market. I guess somehow he knows what's in Zach's heart. J.K. Rowling, why do leaders of the Greens have such difficulty naming the particular demographic likely to be most shaken and affected by two men from their community having their throats cut on a London street? So again, like we're focusing only on the two Jewish men, not the Muslim man. And also, and this is Sana Said wrote this, but like there were 53,000 stabbings this past year, which might just mean there's a lot of mental instability and violence and anger for all different reasons, right?
Which is why when they're guns instead of knives, it's much worse in the US, but it's the same system. But look, to pretend that this was an anti-Semitic motion and project of this guy somehow, who, even if that was his intent, he's mentally ill. Like we have some separation in society from the actions of mentally ill people.
Yeah.
But it'd be like if down the street, somebody knifed 3 people, 2 were women, 1 was a man, and they're like, oh, this is an attack on women. He hates women. He went, and it's just, you're fabricating the story you want. And clearly all those news organizations, the US, are working the agenda that Israel wants by framing it this way.
100%. 100%. Okay. So here is the Times of London. Okay. Zack Polanski's Green Party is wholly unfit for power, accommodating poisonous anti-Semites and led by a disingenuous chancer who knows exactly what he's doing. She writes, 2 Jewish men are stabbed in London's most famous Jewish neighborhood, and on X, he's thinking of the victims and everyone who once again will be shaken by this attack. No clue from Zach who this everyone might be. Instead, he delivers the minimum sympathies decency requires. Boilerplate pieties that swerve the J word. Jew cannot be uttered in the context of suffering or religious violence, even after the Manchester synagogue attack and arson of the Hatzalah ambulances. Polanski airily asked whether the Jewish community faced a perception of unsafety or actual unsafety. Rather, for Polanski, Jew is his political shield. How can the Greens be riddled with anti-Semites, he asks, when led by him, a Jew? And here is the cartoon that was included with that piece, or in the Times that day. So that's the police tasering the guy, and there on the right, just in case you can't see it well, I'm going to show you the close-up, is Zack Polanski. And if that looks
into a trope
familiar, it's because, as Dr. Ian Darcy points out, published in the Times today is Zack Polanski, and on the right, published in Nazi Germany in the 30s, is a cartoon of Jews. This is the other way that he's been shown over the past year. Looks a little on the nose for anti-Semite.
Greedy Jew.
Yeah.
It's greedy Jew.
And then I just had to throw this in there, which is Bernie at the 2016 DNC. That's the t-shirt that they were selling on the top left there.
Yeah. The rat trope.
The rat trope. So these are the people who are so worried about anti-Semitism spewing this kind of shit.
And I'm not in the UK, so I don't know if this works there, but if you pull that stuff here, nobody is on your side with the garbage, right? I mean, it gives you some fake justification to still support Israel, I guess, in the face of everybody saying, no, we want to stop funding all this war. We want out of there, stop it somehow.
Yep.
But that's it. It doesn't, nobody buys it. You might keep the people that already are so fucking clueless they don't see what's going on in step, but everyone else is turned off by this.
I mean, it's so clear what they're trying to do. And you know, they did it to Corbyn, they did it to Bernie also. They said that he was an anti-Semite, right? Because he had like the slightest criticism of Netanyahu's Israel at one point when he was, you know, of course, Israel has a right to defend itself, when he was talking against Hillary, who was just like, you know, Palestinians suck and they're all terrorists. And he had like a more qualified comment on it.
But look, as always, they're so behind the people with this stuff. So that might have worked 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It will not work now. They have ruined the word anti-Semitic. So it almost means like, that's who I should vote for.
I mean, it really makes,
which is not good for Jews.
No, it's not. It's not. So he was on, you know, he was on all the news shows. I don't know if this was probably there yesterday because they're ahead of time, whatever. Anyway, or there today. But here he is with Trevor Phillips, who's, you know, good friends, by the way, with Peter Mandelson, Epstein. You know, he was the ambassador to the U.S. You know, nobody cares that you can be a proponent or a friend or pals with the royal family, whose own son, you know, Andrew, was a huge child rapist, or that you're friends with Peter Mandelson. Like, none of that matters. It's all fine. But this guy said that Palestinians should be free, and that's dangerous. It makes Jews unsafe. Anyway, here he is talking to Trevor Phillips on Sky News.
Which is what the government stands behind and which police operate today. That's wrong.
Well, as I repeat, as a Jewish person, I march with many Jewish people on those marches. Now, there are already laws to deal with.
But you're not all Jews. I'm just saying that currently the policy is...
But why is my Jewish identity being erased from this conversation?
No, I'm not erasing it.
So many people on those marches.
Don't try that one on me. My point is that currently the policy is that if somebody believes that an incident is a hate crime, whether they are a victim or not, it is recorded as such by the police. It is regarded as such by the courts. What you are saying is because you don't think it's a hate crime, it shouldn't be.
If hate crimes are being committed on the marches, then those should be dealt with, and there's already laws for those. As I said, on those marches, I've not seen hate crimes, and I think it's an outrageous slur on many, many people who are marching for peace. The world is actually upside down.
And others who think it is. What's wrong with that?
Those are not hate marches.
It's in their minds.
Well, I think if they've not seen evidence of them being hate marches, then I think, yes, that is a perception issue.
But we're always more worried about how some of these Zionists feel. By the way, you know, there were not scores of articles written about, this was just 2 days ago, the fire set to Peacehaven Mosque, which I think that's in London. Also, this fire, which was near a synagogue, it wasn't a synagogue, it was a residential home, but the way they phrase it on LBC, 100 firefighters at the scene after blaze breaks out near North London synagogue. It also happened to be near a North London mosque, but that's not emphasized. And it wasn't even in either one of these religious places, right? So like, the weight of Jewish feelings over Palestinians being genocided and Lebanese now as well, it's really, I agree with you that it's crumbling, but on state media or whatever, corporate media, where, you know, people have to go if they want to be elected. I wish I knew if it truly were that they're Zionists. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they're Zionists or it's just because they're paid to do it, but it's so disgusting. It's just really hard to wrap your mind around.
Yeah, I don't think look, to get to the top positions, you probably are Zionists, like Jake Tapper, right? You know, like some of them are Zionists. You know, you got Andrea Mitchell and
yeah.
all
And
the
Jake
ones
Tapper's
whose
Jewish
names
also.
I
I mean, he's
intentionally
like
pronounced wrong, but
Andrea.
yeah,
Oh,
all of them.
Dana Bash.
Dana Bash. Yeah, so you know, they're probably in those positions because the people at the networks know this is the safest person we can put up there because they're going to frame things around how we do. And the rest just take heed from there. They know what they can do and not do. So even if they're not Zionists, they're not going to be pro-Palestinian. They can't be, you know, I mean, we know that at this point.
You know, it's interesting seeing, well, first of all, that journalists, and today is National Journalist Day. So shout out to
cheers to the 20 of them left in independent media, maybe.
Yeah. And the over 300 Palestinian journalists that Israel has slaughtered. And now they're targeting, of course, Lebanese journalists as well. But it's interesting to see that there is more coverage on what Israel is doing to Lebanon than what was done to Gaza, what is being done to Gaza. This was from the New York Times. So mapping the destruction, how Israel wiped out Lebanon's Bint Jbeil. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. Israel said it's applied the Gaza model in Lebanon. This is what the devastation looks like. I mean, that is horrific. That nobody can say that that's just because they're trying to get Hezbollah. And, you know, of course, it looks almost exactly like what we see when we look at the aerial view of Gaza, but somehow there does seem to be more focus right now and more correlation between this is the Gaza method that the U.S. is allowing and that Israel is now also applying to Lebanon. And I do wish I knew, because, you know, Lebanon and Israel have been in a ceasefire for how many days?
Probably.
I don't even know how many days and how many people have been slaughtered since that. But it's all, you know, they talk about a fragile ceasefire, but it's just Israel bombing the shit out of them. Also, they've been in a ceasefire with Gaza. This is the aerial view of Gaza. How do you
most moral army in the world right there.
And also like the targeting, the precision strikes. Like again, like
all that stuff is it just rings on deaf ears because nobody following this at all believes any of that bullshit anymore. So every time they have someone on CNN talking that and they don't push back enough, everyone's like, I'm losing trust of CNN.
I hope so. I hope so.
I mean, we're not in a world where people are watching CNN regularly for their news. And if they are, they're still on Twitter enough or on Instagram enough to see the countervailing truth. You know, other than the few, you know, the segment of old folks committed to these legacy media outlets for their main source of news. But even my parents are scrolling fucking, you know, some shit on their phones these days.
Really?
You know, yes. So like it's, I mean, not my dad. He still would prefer a flip phone, but you know.
At this point, I sort of would also, apart from the information I've been able to get that I would never be getting otherwise. And of course, you know, just like to kind of, you know, bob and weave all the time, you know, when they call the Times of Israel calls UK Green Party leader Zack Polanski is an extremist. So this is the Jewish state where Jews are welcome, safe haven for Jews. He's an extremist. Sorry, I put the violent. And then, you know, extremist is the death and destruction that Benjamin Netanyahu government. I mean, of course, that makes me a little nervous. But anyway, that it's just like hinged on one person that the Netanyahu government brings on a daily basis. Extremist is them introducing the death penalty for Palestinians. Extremist is this apartheid genocidal Israel government that our government shamefully supports. And, you know, Ben Gvir just had his 50th birthday party. This was the cake that his wife gave him. It has a noose on it. And the State Department gave him a 3-tiered cake, excuse me, that had a gold noose at the top and guns on the side. I mean, it is truly barbaric. They are just next level. Like I honestly, I don't.
Look, if anybody for my birthday gave me something relating me to wanting people dead, like even if that was a big part of my character, it's your birthday and this is supposed to make you happy that you're like, it's just morally corrupt.
Whatever that moral debt. I know we are probably gonna move on from Israel. So before we do, I just wanted to show 2 more quick things, which are horrible because we've kind of gone all over the place. But the Israeli government, according, you know, they still have at least 2, but there's possibly 1 more, but at least 2 of the Flotilla activists that they have detained, kidnapped. I mean, they kidnapped these people who are bringing peaceful activists. I don't think they have any weapons at all on board, who are coming with medicine, water, baby formula, kidnapped them in international waters, and they've been beaten, blindfolded, held in stress positions, and interrogated by Israeli, you know, CIA, Shin Bet. So that is Tiago de Avila, lost consciousness twice. And just today, both he and the other man, Saif Abukashek, have now been like the judge said they are being forced to stay in detention for several more days. And of course, our State Department is trying to punish anybody who gives any aid, money, donates anything to the Flotilla terrorists, is how the U.S. State Department is framing anybody who supports these people.
It's a war crime to prevent aid from getting to people, right? That alone is a war crime. Intercepting anyone in international waters. You don't own international waters. They have every right to be where they are. Now, if you want to make an argument when they get to land, that is different.
But why does Israel? Why doesn't anybody push back? Like, why does Israel get to control the water of Gaza's land? Right.
That's my point. And that brings me back to the pirates. It's them there. It's us in the Hormuz Straits So we are just now allowed to do whatever we want. Us and the Western interests of us in Israel can fucking call ourselves pirates on TV, fucking kidnap people in the open waters, bomb boats in Venezuela. And there's just no, like, it's just amazing that the world is such pussies that they won't stand up to us and say all of this is wrong.
Yep.
They're coming out in some parts now that they're economically getting hit because of Iran, but that's it. Until it fucked their economy up, they had no moral standing to say a peep.
Nothing. No, it's
no moral courage to say a peep.
No moral courage. So we already did our cheers, but I thought, in the face of all these horrific, liberal institutions who called the cops in on their own students who were protesting, and, all of our corporate media, the fact that this professor from Michigan, he's a historian, Derek R. Peterson, in his commencement address to the students, said this.
Sing for the pro-Palestinian student activists. Who have, over these past 2 years, opened our hearts to the injustice and inhumanity of Israel's war in Gaza. The greatness of this institution does not only rest on the shoulders and on the accomplishments of our student athletes, who deserve all the congratulations we can offer them. But the greatness of this university rests also on the courage and the conviction of student activists who have pushed this university down the path toward justice. It is to them that we can rightly sing, "Hail to the victors valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan, the leaders and the best." Congratulations to all of you who are graduating today. Go Blue.
There's been so few professors. I mean, partly it's because they also got their heads bashed in when they were trying to protect students, the ones who did, right? The ones who were trying to help. And now
they're largely gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. They've been fired.
Yep. Exactly. Where are all the protesters? We're going to get our umpteenth, DNC funded think piece about, isn't that fun? Just asking questions. I'm just noticing that all those protesters are gone now under Trump. Yeah, because your fucking administration got rid of, put the fear of God in them, and then Trump just escalated it.
Well, and that's one piece of it, but the media has also just decided not to cover all of it. So that's even when it is happening, you think it's not happening because you've managed to shield it from mainstream media coverage. But we all know people are still protesting. We all know we're all pissed. Every day the number goes up of people. CNN even showed a poll about people who were against fucking funding Israel. If they had a poll about, are you more empathetic with the Palestinians or Israelis? And everyone's just like, it's like 70% fucking Palestine.
Yep.
Or 80%, I think.
Yeah, it was like 75%. And that, because we showed that clip, it was, what's his name? Kornacki, I think, right? And the woman who was with him was like, wow, amazing. That's amazing. But doesn't ask a question why does that happen?
Can we talk about why? No,
it's just anti-Semitism. It's crazy. All of a sudden, because of TikTok, everybody became anti-Semitic.
Yeah, no, that clip will be used. The poll will be used to say, and this is why we got to stop Hassan Piker, because he's leading the world to communism, and people think this crazy shit right now. Except for you viewers who are smart enough to be, on the right side of things with Israel and pro-genocide.
And that's the other thing. Why don't they ever talk about, so which of the Democratic candidates who were not bashing actually listens to the people? And why? Because if you're watching this and you've had a steady stream of anti-Semitism is way up, nobody's ever taught about the Holocaust anymore, you know, like all the stuff that the ADL has pushed based on lies or manipulating data in order to say anti-Semitism is on the rise. Like, well, now of course it is, because the Jewish state with a fucking Star of David on its flag is committing genocide and saying they're doing it because that's what Jews do. And if you criticize it, you're a self-hating Jew, because why aren't you a Zionist? You're just anti-Jewish, and being a Zionist means committing genocide and apartheid. So like, they are the biggest anti-Semites or Jew haters in the world, truly, the Zionists, who conflate this apartheid genocidal state with being Jewish.
Yeah, well, the increase is like, yes, anti-American hatred should increase in the world because of what we are doing. Doesn't mean I think everyone should hate us individual people, but yeah, it's natural. If anti-America was sort of anti-Semitic, if you had a similar word, yeah, that's the outcome of this. That's what happens. The worst people would think the worst things of the people they've blamed for everything forever. So like, if the anti-American sentiment wasn't justified before, well, now every day you give them reason for it.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. You guys get it. I'm just.
Yeah, no, but it really is like, and so then they're going to still like, you know, when we get to the Democratic thing in a second, but like, they're still going to harp on Hassan Piker saying that like, yeah, of course we deserve 9/11 because we've like, not individuals, but yes, as a country, look at what those two aerial views that we just showed, Lebanon and Gaza. We fund that. We did that. We supplied the arms. We give them money. We give them political coverage at the UN. We did like, we do all of that. And that, of course, that's why people hate Israel. And we're expecting a lot out of the victims of the genocide to distinguish between Israel and Jews, when the IDF people who are slaughtering them have Jewish stars all over them, right? Like, so of course, like, but we expect victims to have to differentiate between anti-Zionist Jews and Jews, but like, Jesus.
And comparing the two, right? 9/11, right? So it was one moment, one day, two big buildings, monster buildings, a lot of people, don't get me wrong, right? Bad. But like, okay, so if we pushed back and said to the people behind 9/11 that was wrong, so evil, okay, justified. But in Palestine, it's a choice building by building over months and months and months. So
years.
If 9/11 is wrong, the continued action we have been a part of, building, by school, by mosque, by fucking
hospital,
you know,
yeah, all of it. Yeah,
it's just so clearly wrong. So,
and also like, if October 7th, just with 800 civilians killed, probably most of them by IDF, let's face it, but whatever, justifies in their mind that aerial view. What does that aerial view justify? And they never go to that next thing. It's like everything started on October 7th, and that's the only. And once the Jewish state has gotten enough of its bloodlust satisfied, which it seems it was like unending, bottomless pit. Yeah, but like, then it's okay.
Biblically, it's like biblically okay for them to do everything they're doing. And they tie it with Christianity, which makes it biblically okay for, you know, a lot of fucking fundamentalist Christians.
Thank you, Bendejo. Watching the Pistons game 7. Go Bad Boys and cheers. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jezen. USA Method. What do you think reservations are? What's left after a genocide? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're just like talking from the comfort of historical distance, but it's not distant for the people who are living on reservations and who are still being, you know, like where the data centers go and where the environmental hazards and everything that we do to indigenous populations here. MSM is terrified seeing how left and right are uniting to push conspiracy theories versus Israel, panicking because they can't fathom how they lost the narrative warfare. And thank you for your super chat, and also Justin, you. Yeah, I mean, they really are. And they are putting what $750 million now, Israel is, towards their Hezbollah department because they've lost.
Yeah, but I know you get it, but like, compared to owning networks, which is what we're down to now, we got all these tech bros buying up the media left and right, and basically Israel's completely infused in our mainstream media. So that money is probably going to go to Twitter, and it's getting spread around outside of mainstream media. That's why they increased the budget. So when your favorite podcaster comes around and says, you got to vote blue, that's the guy who took the money. Your favorite podcasters that come around and go, we've got to rethink some of this Israel stuff.
Yep. 100%.
Probably coming. It's probably coming.
I think it is going to come. I absolutely think it's going to come. But it also, I know I've asked this question before, haven't gotten a satisfying response from anybody. What I don't understand is saying that we have like AI and all of our weapons technology that we developed in Gaza, and then the precise targeting, and then when you see the aerial view of Gaza. So like, what difference does it make? You don't need AI for that. Just keep dropping your bombs, right? And the same thing with the takeover of the media. Like they own all the media and they've still lost. So like, what's the point? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I get it. But I think they've made a huge misstep regarding AI, because they've associated AI with the destruction in Gaza, which has helped us push against AI because everybody sees it, and we're like, we don't want more of that. We don't want the police involved if it's tied to the IDF and this tech that fucking kills people. So, it's a misstep on their part, which is why they're all these AI groups are now trying to do this sort of, they want us to believe there's a moral contract coming somehow that changes things for us. And they want to present themselves as the good AI, like everybody but Anthropic, or whatever, that took the deal with the US government. So they're all very aware of their PR problem at the moment. And so the next level of AI is spinning that bullshit on us differently.
But I am really still trying to understand
the answer to your
why
question.
They're bothering with it. Because
you bother because it's a delay tactic. It's just like it keeps the people that believe in the bullshit. And the more of those that join us to say this is bullshit, the harder it is for them. So it's just like, you got to spin something.
I think that might be it. It's a delay tactic. It's also like a time vampire. Like, for the same reason that I did not want to explain to my friend why I still mask, because like at this point, 6 years, we're in our 7th year of a pandemic. I don't want to exhaust myself, but like, I have spent so much time getting into discussions from, 2015 about the DNC leaks and what they were doing, colluding with Hillary, and why it wasn't Bernie's fault that it's like, oh my God, accumulating all the receipts and the articles and writing people back on Facebook and trying to have these conversations with my formerly liberal, or what I thought were friends, and like they all disowned us, whatever. But like, maybe that's it. It's just like, it's so exhausting. It's just a time vampire. I don't know.
I think that's part of it. I think part of it is also equipping the people, the true believers, because if you're still watching these shows and believing them, you need something to say if you're around your people. So here you pepper them with some bullshit narrative that they can speak out in public as well.
Yeah. All right. Should we do something fun?
Yeah, what do you got? You got something fun?
Well,
another wheel. I know.
Ladies.
Let's go.
All right, one second. Oh, do we have another puppet?
I
If
will.
Okay,
I will
why don't-
upload it as we.
You're going to upload it while I show Juice Media's satire about the flotilla, since it, feeds in while it's uploading. Okay.
This is a message from the government of Israel. The Global Summit Flotilla, 50 boats with hundreds of people from 44 countries, is heading to Gaza, carrying terrorist items such as baby formula, medicines, flour. Crew members include Greta, European MP, doctors and lawyers, clearly all anti-Semites. There's literally no other explanation for wanting to feed starving children. We ask you to ignore this historic moment of international solidarity, which proves some of us are still fucking human. Do not find them on Instagram or follow their journey on the Flotilla tracker. Because how are we meant to take a huge shit on international law? By intercepting the flotilla in international waters, prevent it from delivering humanitarian aid in accordance with the Geneva Convention, and murder its crew like we did in the past? If the world is watching, and if we attempt that, do not be ready to shut shit down worldwide. Sure, genocide scholars, even our own organizations, are saying deliberate starvation, targeting doctors and hospitals, displacing millions, and destroying 90% of houses, preventing people's return, killing entire families, multiple generations, and thousands of children legally constitutes genocide. But remember, past genocides, bad. Genocides in your own lifetime, complicated. Thanks to all the governments who are leaving it to these civilians to uphold international law, especially our pedo-loving sugar daddy fuckbag who lets us do what we want, even bomb Qatar. And props to Australia for selling us parts of weapons. Thank you for your complicity. Now send us more money and ammo, you pieces of shit.
That little pedo-loving line hits. Man, I think Trump is getting so beaten up with his own supporters at this point. Like, it's gonna, like, I think the danger with it is that, like, I'm thinking like Marjorie Taylor Greene could run and take over the MAGA folks. We could have some real, like, there's like room to just part with Trump with his own people.
Yeah,
that
I
didn't
think so too.
exist until recently.
He's clearly not, like, whatever they're America First, which it's fucking disgusting, and she's not an ally in any way. But yes, 100%. There's a big split, and Tucker Carlson also.
Yeah. So if you get all those people in sync with someone else that's new and a shitbag, which Tucker Carlson, he's got this new, like, oh, my bad about Trump kind of thing going.
Right.
But that doesn't keep him from believing everything Trump ran on, which is enough to make you a fucking scumbag, in my opinion. So he'll back whoever that is on the right next time, because there'll be money in it for him, and his audience will want that.
Yeah. We pulled a clip. It's kind of long, but it's of him with the New York Times talking about the difference between Ted Cruz and Nick Fuentes, because they will spend so much time on Nick Fuentes, who's a disgusting, racist, Holocaust denying piece of shit. But and they'll equate him to Hassan Piker, but they won't talk about
they'll do the whole extreme thing of like, oh, both ends are bad. The guy on the left that wants healthcare and
to stop a genocide,
everything good, and is against genocide, and the racist fucking incel Nazi.
Yeah, the same. It's like
both sides are bad. The middle is where we don't have those publicly, but privately they are those same people. I mean, as the Fuentes.
Yeah.
All right, we got a pup up. We have several pups up.
All right, we got
it. Should we let people decide? I mean, we have options here.
Right,
we have rabbits. We have rabbits, spicy kittens, or red pandas. First vote wins. We're not playing until someone votes.
I'm not playing.
Rabbits, red pandas, and spicy kittens. Somebody vote. We could do this all night, people.
I know. We need our. Where's
rabbits.
Our vote? Oh, there we go. Jake got rabbits.
Let's go.
All right,
oh yeah, we could run a poll during the show now.
Yeah. What happened to that one? The widget thingy.
We should. Next time I'm putting up a poll.
Okay.
Rabbits for the win.
All right.
Rabbits are dicks, apparently.
What are you doing?
Like a termite.
But you can't just jump out here.
Oh, they're really cute. I like that carrot game. I could get into that carrot game.
Right. I don't, my thought on rabbits, every time I've seen rabbits in real life, I always think you're going to kill them because they always have heart attacks and they get excited and like.
Wait, they have, for really? They
get, I mean, believe me, I'm just talking out of my ass. I don't really know this stuff, but I always thought they have heart attacks. And every time I'm around rabbits and they have the heartbeat like crazy, and it's like, I'm worried I could do something to kill a rabbit just by being around it. So someone talked me down from this. I don't know.
That's also why you should never scare a kid. Like kids actually can have heart attacks.
Kids?
Little
like
kids, yeah.
Babies? See,
I don't even like
babies are
scaring
scary.
anybody anyway. I don't like it. All right. Are we moving on? Actually we pulled a few different sort of fun well, maybe some of them aren't fun. All right, never mind. I'm just gonna wait. I'll wait till the next thing. Let's get into Democrats. Let's get into our Democrats. The polls, Democrats, it is your race to lose. More Democrats say midterms are important and are certain to vote. There's also a poll, Dems versus Republicans on the issues, and they're neck and neck on many of the issues, which should be a huge fucking warning sign. They are ahead on healthcare, ahead on education and schools, barely ahead on cost of living. And then, situation with Iran, 34% to 32%. I will say that makes me pleased with the level of understanding of the situation amongst Democratic voters, that they know that Kamala would have done pretty much the same thing. AI tied, inflation tied, which I would say, I don't know why that's not part of cost of living, but okay. Reducing corruption in government, the economy, taxes, immigration, Trump's ahead by 5 points, but like not a lot. And crime, Republicans are ahead by 14 points. So, apart from healthcare, which Democrats gave us a Republican heritage Obamacare plan, to me, this is like incredibly worrisome if you are a Democrat thinking we're going to have a blue wave, because even if we do, who the fuck cares? Nothing changes. Nothing changes.
Well, I think that's what the polls show right there. They show that the public is very in tune that you guys are working the same project largely.
I mean,
so that means how that translates in elections is I don't look at the D and R as much as I used to. So if a good-hearted Republican comes in front of me, a Joe voter is less likely to say just your D shit matters to me.
Yeah. Well, that's because, yes, most of these, they never want to excite new voters, non-voters, right? It's always going after, for Democrats, going after the Mitt Romney Republicans or the independents who, like, I would never vote for a Republican or a libertarian because I understand what their ideology is based in, right? So I would never vote for Marjorie Taylor Greene or any America Firster because that's not why, right? Like, so I would not
at their
do
best,
that.
I couldn't find a Republican I would ever vote for. No,
never.
Not a single one ever on earth. I could find a Democrat, but it's going to be rare. On local level. You kind of have a choice a lot of times. So your local guy might be good as a Democrat.
Yeah. Because right now, unfortunately, because of Democrats working so hard to maintain the duopoly and because of their lawfare, it's very difficult to run outside of that party if you are anywhere in the vicinity of Democrats, right? Yeah. So up in super liberal San Francisco, this lady, Marie Harabiel, is running for Congress, and she's asked about one of the purity tests that a lot of voters are interested in.
Well, my personal view on this, and so I don't know particularly any one person with their opinions and how I would respond to them, but my personal view on this is it's what we're seeing in Gaza is a humanitarian crisis. It is a crisis that needs to be dealt with. It is not a genocide.
What propels somebody to make that distinction? Humanitarian crisis, not a. First of all, fuck off. Nobody cares what your feeling is about any of it. Like it's something, an act of God, like the weather shot down and slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people. But like at this point, and I know we've talked about this so many times, but like what that means is she is absolutely owned by the Zionist lobby.
Absolutely. She's leaving space, as they all are, to say it was how Netanyahu navigated this war.
Right.
Like, if there's anything wrong with it you dislike, I said I was against how it was being prosecuted because I called it a humanitarian crisis.
Yep.
Well, why is it? It's a humanitarian crisis because of our funding for this fucking humanitarian crisis. And the crisis is we're killing fucking kids, babies, everybody. So that if your humanitarian crisis calls out that all and you want to not call it genocide, fine, but you're not calling it out. You're just being middling at best. I mean, because she's not even middling. Like to run in San Francisco on this is crazy.
Knowing that 75% of Democrats, like again, like obviously it's a genocide. You know, we've been talking about, I've been saying that what Israel is doing is a genocide since, 2018. So, but at this point, you can't say it. Politically, it's stupid as hell because 75% of your own base considers it a genocide and has like disavowed Israel. But and morally, like all of it, it's just like, why would you even be running?
As you said, it just shows immediately that you are owned. You are a garbage politician that works for anyone but us. So anyone hears any of this sort of middling or sort of Netanyahu bad, but the war is for the right purpose, that is a person against you, because if they don't fight against a genocide, they don't want to get you fucking healthcare either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, healthcare is not, I mean, it's uber important. It's the most important thing for us in this country. But morally, improving our healthcare is not anywhere near as bad as just fucking killing innocent people and funding it. And when you see the correlation is that we don't have healthcare because of our choices economically to fund stuff like this.
And they do have universal healthcare that they brag about, like, which is also just like, okay, like we are giving them billions of dollars every year. Yeah.
It's just painful and they're going to lose. And we need to make sure that all of these people, even if it brings on a fucking evil Republican who I don't support at all, but until you can't win if you don't change your position on this,
100%.
we haven't moved the needle enough.
Nothing gets better when Democrats are in power, except that they just like keep paving the way for more fascism when Republicans get in power. So yes, there has to be at some point, the lesser evil voting has gotten us here. People have to wake up to that. Why is being anti-genocide radical? Jessen, thank you for your super chat. And it is just insane that we're at a point where you have to defend and not me, but like apologize that maybe you're going to hurt some Jewish person's feelings because you're saying that what Israel's doing is a genocide, and apparently only Zionist Jews are allowed to claim that they've ever suffered from a genocide or a Holocaust. Like that is so much part of the project to make it like we are the biggest victims in the world. That is a part of the Jewish supremacy of Zionism that has to be dismantled. We're not even the biggest victims of genocide in the 20th century, as horrible as it is. And I don't think there has to be comparisons. But like when you see what King Leopold did in the Congo and 10 million people are killed, like,
yeah,
why does it have to be a competition? Genocide is bad just across the board. And you don't have special feelings because you're one person who is a victim of genocide. It's insane to me that we have to spend any time on this.
But I mean, like in our country, to me, bigger than that is like, you would think there was this like anti-Semitic vibe that was a million times deeper than racism to black people.
Wait, say what you said again. Sorry.
Well, you know, if you believe the press, like Jewish people are more oppressed than black people in this country. Right. Which is just, you know, wild. Like, it's just, nobody believes that at all. Like not a single person other than a Jewish person who's bought all this crap believes it. But I've known a million Jewish people. I didn't even know were Jewish and never thought twice about it at all.
Yeah.
But every single black person I've known in my life has experienced racism. It's like, did you see that there was an interview that made it kind of went viral with a conservative who was like, yeah, and I adopted my black daughter and I didn't have any idea racism existed until my black daughter. And she told me about, you know, almost getting run over by a truck and it swerved at the last second. They were calling her the N-word and, you know, stuff like that. And he's like, and then I learned, but I'm still a conservative, but I learned empathy on that one issue because it was in my life for the first fucking time. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's what we're up against is people that are unaffected by things until it hits them, which is liberals and Republicans.
It is absolutely also liberals. Like, you know, for a long time, I thought it was only Republicans who lacked empathy until it actually affected them because it was so clear that that was what was happening. But it's 100% it's liberals too. And the second any action takes away or might like decrease their level of comfort, they're out, which is why, I mean, I know we all know this, but it's why liberals always side with the fascists over the left when it comes down to it. They just always will because they don't actually have empathy. They just like the way it sounds. They like the moral rectitude, you know, of being able to say like, I vote for the better, la, 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 whatever. Yeah.
And honestly, socialism scares these people because they're doing fine. That's it. So these people are susceptible to anything that says you might not be doing fine under the guy on the left of you, which is not the case for like 90% of these people anyway.
Right.
They'll be doing better. Right. But they're the ones susceptible to the scare tactics of leftist policy.
It doesn't matter till it hurts me. It tells me about you. Absolutely. Cheers. And thank you for the super chat. This was a good, I didn't know this woman before, but this was making the rounds about Democratic strategy. And it's so like exactly on point.
Democrats, we hear you loud and clear. You keep trying to tell us what matters to you most, and that's exactly why we keep hiring more consultants. Good ones, from the John Kerry era, who still have a lot of fresh ideas that just might appeal to you bright-eyed 24-year-old millennials. Hey, the 2028 election is right around the corner, and don't worry. We're working hard to give you that folksy, middle-of-the-road nominee who's endorsed by at least 3 retired Republicans. We hear you, and we're on it. Trust us. We understand that you're tired of corporate influence in politics. And that's exactly why we're working closely with our biggest corporate donors to address that concern, silly goose. We're tuned into the wants and needs of our voters. That's why we're making sure that the ICE agents in your neighborhood are trained in our new community sensitivity training program. The data from our focus groups in rural Wyoming is clear. Democrats under 40 want moderate tax reform and universal fishing licenses. See? We get it. Look, let's address the elephant in the room. We're aware that public opinion on a certain ongoing conflict in a certain region of the world has shifted dramatically. We want you to know that we're committed to pursuing a comprehensive multilateral framework for dialogue that prioritizes humanitarian considerations and a path towards a sustainable resolution that proposes a mutually optimized geographic arrangement. And we mean it.
I mean, I know. It's like, I think that's Hey Tamara, but I'm not sure what her name is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it is one of those, like, it's so spot on that it's not funny anymore.
I know.
Like you said.
The rolling up the sleeve, the jacket.
It's kind of why I stopped doing my parody, too. It's like.
It's too close to everything.
I could make people laugh still, probably, with it. But, like, just. It's copying, pasting the shit they do and just switching some words, you know? It's like
remember the woman who went viral as a comedian when she was like, she's a Black woman who would just move her mouth, like lip sync to what Trump's words actually were.
Right. Yeah, she was great.
And people loved her. But it was like, I mean.
No,
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
So just, sorry, I'm about to sneeze. All right, it's going to happen in a second. So just to the point that we were saying, this is USA Today. Democrats and the legacy media are right to call out Nick Fuentes. He deserves it, but that's no excuse to ignore a very real extremist on the left. We also have Plattner. Listen, I also like whenever I hear Plattner talk, I like him. But also, you know, I look and I'm like, all that work with BlackRock and going back to being a mercenary over and over and very recently, I don't love the Nazi tattoo, obviously. So I'm not going to like full-throatedly endorse him. But like these people all got behind Joe Biden, who committed a genocide and who did like crime bill and helped like sell the Iraq war. And, you know, like, like they pick and choose who they'll align with. If you fucked a bunch of kids and raped them on the Lolita Express, you can come speak at our 2016 DNC, and we're thrilled to have you, Bill Clinton. It's like,
or if you're a Republican, you know, come speak at the DNC, because if you're a billionaire, we will drop all requirements to run in the Democratic Party for you as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's stopping us is the issue. That's the agenda. Stopping us matters more than winning. It matters more than anything else in the world to both parties.
That is exactly right. Do not let us have a moment of dignity. Get us back to work until you replace us as workers. Like, why do you even need slave labor if you're going to have everything done by AI? I don't know. Just crazy.
Well, that's
anyway,
the thing. Sorry. Soon they won't, which is why like our moment is fucking now. That's what I like.
Yeah.
AI is going to suck. Robots, they suck. But like both those are going to get better and be able to replace us. We can pretend that's not the case, but they will be for a lot of these jobs. And so we will lose tremendous power that we have right now. Like every day we let this shit go.
The capital down.
Things get worse for us, but also our power gets worse as well. So it's like, yes, things get so bad that more people are woken up, but you have less power to do something about it every day.
That's right. Also, you have less power to do something that for them would be difficult because it would affect, you know, stop the cogs of capitalism, but that's also peaceful because they're gonna get to a point where the pitchforks and the guillotines are coming out, right? Like that is like they also should be very aware, which is that's the reason they want to lock us all up.
I mean, honestly, other than the super elites, but even them, they're not safe. Look, they can be gotten by their own technology with drones.
Right.
Is going to be, just like you could 3D print a gun, the public will be able to 3D print assassin drones.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a real thing, but that's like a handful of people, or maybe 50, 100, whatever. But the people below them benefiting from all this stuff, the CEOs of all these evil companies, they don't have the money to protect themselves like that real elite top does.
Right. Like a billionaire bunker kind of deal.
Right. So the safest thing for them to do is change the equation a little bit in our favor, but they're so greedy, they're not even going to do that. But so now we have to use our power to fucking tweak the lever on this thing, or the knob.
I mean, yes, we do. But they have to be scared. I mean, it's the thing that Chris Hedges always says, right? Like politics is a game of fear. And like, this is the thing that woke them up more than anything.
Then MMT. I love the new MMT.
Yeah. It's the best MMT. Okay. So wait, sorry. I am scrolling. Truth, I know you send us so many great videos, and some of them, we've already pulled. Some of them we discovered because of you, and thank you. Yes, I did see. I know he's, he does the lever and a bunch of things, and I'm just never gonna really get behind any candidate like wholeheartedly, probably ever again, especially not somebody. I mean, I was pretty excited about Mamdani in the lead up, and I still really do appreciate what he's doing, but Mamdani's history was better, and it's hard for me to completely embrace the history of Plattner, and yet I still think like he is definitely better.
And not that our recommendation carries any value, but I don't want to convince anyone to give $1 to a Democrat anywhere, pretty much.
No, never.
Any dollar you would consider giving to Plattner or somebody else because they're a good leftist, it's better spent on
mutual aid,
someone in Gaza. Even if it's someone in Gaza, you're like, I don't know if this is going to him or a scammer. That's a better place for it than a Democrat.
100%. Remember when AOC gave so much of her money off to corporate Democrats? She doesn't take PAC money, but she gives it to the people who do. Anyway, so of course, the Jewish Democratic Council of America, not ready to back Plattner, citing past statements and actions that raise reasons for concern. We won't support a Democrat who doesn't. I mean, and again, it's not for the reasons that we've just mentioned, right? It's like his military allegiance to the military for such a long time, but they won't support a Democrat who doesn't represent the views and values of the vast majority of American Jews. So don't bring me down with your ship, Haley Sofer, whatever the hell.
The crazy thing about that, but the crazy thing about that comment is it's not even factually correct.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Plattner's view is in alignment with the vast majority of Jews.
Yep.
It's just your propaganda and bullshit telling people that the Jewish community is so, oppressed somehow and doesn't agree.
Gross. Really gross. And just because we're doing like, these are the Democrats who are in power. We got Jared Moskowitz. Let's take him down. Oliver Larkin just caught another member of Congress loading up on defense stocks. Representative Jared Moskowitz just filed stock purchases in General Dynamics, GE Aerospace, and Parker Hannifin. He, by the way, also sits on the House Committee on Foreign Affairs. So when he's pushing more war with Iran and the whole Israeli project, that he is also getting well paid for it. Here is
like, how is that not illegal though? I mean, it is insane that we tolerate these guys putting money on the machine that will make money from war, who are voting on regulating the war. Like, it's just like, if you think we can vote our way out of that part of it, it's just so gone. Like you can only Luigi out of that one, as far as I know.
I think you're right. They, or at least the fear of Luigi, right? Like they're not giving up this, like they're not giving up their financial incentives. Why would they? Here's another person, Josh Shapiro, exclusive offer to help with faster permits. Feedback. Oh, this was the, sorry, I fucked up. That's the second part. But anyway, this woman, oh my God, I'm messing up everything. Sorry. Okay. Going back to this. This woman, Jay Holzman, just wrote a report on Shapiro making deals with Amazon to try to help them get data centers in Pennsylvania. Feedback on unreleased data center rules that he gave to them, an NDA that nobody would explain. He, the Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and Amazon have had many correspondences about how to help them get their data centers in Pennsylvania, even though he knows that his party is not interested. And by the way, neither is the Republican voting cohort.
And that's where they get away with it somewhat, is that it's going to come down to lesser evil, because the public is like, all right, we're against AI centers. They're both taking AI money. They're both pushing the AI. So it's going to be like,
it's like that neutralizes it. So like you found one thing that's better,
where only 20% of people voted, it would not change our system. That's the point, is like, they don't care. We're all voting against is the other guy that sucks more.
Yep.
That's it. Whatever your views are.
Thank you, Jezen. 5 Punch Up 5 memberships. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it really is totally despicable. He also did the thing that Biden did. I mean, so many Democrats do this, but helped boost a Republican who was running against a woman who is, pro-Palestinian, anti-genocide, a Democrat. So Shapiro helps the Republican running for like state treasury or something. What was it? State treasurer's 2024 reelection bid after the official, which is the Democratic person, or his Democratic, the Democratic opponent of the Republican had criticized Shapiro. And so he basically like put his support behind the Republican, which is just like, that's your guy. And then, and here's Barney Frank. Barney Frank, I remember his turn a little bit in the 90s, because before that, and probably I also wasn't as awake to all of the corporate financial incentives that both parties had. But like at one point he was sort of thought of as a progressive Democrat. And then he made a really sharp right turn. And now in his dying days, like Jake Tapper had him on, he can barely breathe.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dying. He's in hospice. He's using his last words not to talk against genocide, not to talk about AI destroying our environment and our labor, like nothing about healthcare. No, the left has gone too far on social issues.
From a gay guy, like look, gay is not rare or something, but like his criticisms of the Democratic Party over the years were on, like, that's why the left kind of liked him.
Right.
He attacked them correctly on, sometimes using the gay agenda, whatever.
Right.
And on his deathbed, he's attacking the left. It's just wild to me. Like, I don't know.
Because also, like, at this point, what are you doing? Like, you can't take that money with you. So what is it for? It's just insane.
Yeah, maybe it's just like the friendships you formed in the party mean more to you than any. I don't know. Like, you know, it's a club, and this is his final parting wish to the club. Maybe they're going to take care of his family with it, but he wouldn't be on TV. He wouldn't be on he wouldn't get that interview if they knew he was a risk and going to spew that stuff about actual left. Like,
right.
So, you know,
maybe, I mean, I don't know if he has kids or a spouse or somebody he's trying to set up for success in the future.
Right. Something like that.
This
but like, you know, when Carver goes out, his final wish is going to be like, vote Republican. I was wrong about Democrats the whole time.
Wait, when who?
James Carville.
Oh, Carville. Yeah. Totally. He's like, my wife was right. She was right the whole time.
The Democrats are bad.
Where's he been? Like at the beginning of Trump's regime, he was very vocal and trying to kind of act like we had to go left. Now they all just say you have to fight.
Well, they tried toting him out for a long time, but he pushed a lot of like tomorrow. He was very Rachel Maddow, like, this thing is going to bring Trump down.
Yeah.
Trust me.
TikTok.
Me.
Yeah.
TikTok. And then
game theory. It was that Seth guy. Yeah.
I think because of that, like, nobody believes him. And anyone older like us, we already know he's full of shit. So we know he's a loser. So the new people introduced him for the first time are like, that old man is wrong. I don't know who he is, but he fucking led us astray.
Yeah.
So.
But they were like giving him a lot of play at the beginning of the Trump regime. I think it just, I mean, we didn't pull it, but there was like Jasmine Crockett also, you know, like all of these people who are so tied into the corporate sphere and play act. There's like cosplaying the fight, but they don't ever talk about what they're fighting for. Like they cannot define who they are without being just like slightly better than the Republican, but they don't have their own just like pure ideology, their plan, their project, how they think they could help people. They are always just measuring themselves slightly against the worst people in the world and fighting that. But like, that's not, they're so out of touch. All of the consultants who make billions of dollars haven't told them the truth, but they don't care about the truth because it's all just money.
Well,
I don't know. It feels like knocking your head
really
against
isn't
the wall.
It isn't that they don't care about the truth. It's just that they know to win, they have to be able to take all this money.
Yeah.
Right. So they know if they go against this group, you can't win. They can't win. They're not charismatic enough, or, you know, whatever. They can't go to the public with their record or their rhetoric or anything and win if they have any of that money against them.
I mean, yeah. And I guess they must just not have enough. I mean, they don't have an ideology, which this is so, okay. So one of the reasons I was able to get behind Mamdani during the run was because he did have a history of issues and, you know, putting his weight behind them at the time. And also he was charismatic and he seemed to believe in something and he beat the whole system. So like all of those things sort of like came together and were exciting. Jasmine Crockett doesn't give a fuck about anything except for just trying to be in power. Right. So like when she talks about fight, like for what? It's okay that the Plaskett woman was getting fed in her ear by Jeffrey Epstein because the guy who's in power now has 37 indictments against him for what? Like, if that's what you have to fall back on is, well, this lady just had Epstein in her ear once, but he was like always, so like that, what's so bad? You're not fighting for anybody except for
Absolutely.
yourself.
And people, the days of them being able to spin the public without the public seeing all the shit that regular people like us spend our time getting out to people.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't cost me any money. I'm not getting paid. And all of us that want this world to change are not getting paid to put out enough information to cancel their narrative.
Yeah.
And that's the change. And that's why Israel just put however many millions of dollars.
$750 million. And it will not work because you're right. Like people are energized by the truth and justice and humanity. Like, people are. I truly do believe that. We see it. We see people in the streets, taking to the streets. On May Day, people coming out, people in Cuba coming out, people in Iran who protest the regime of Iran, but protest harder against evil empires coming and bombing them and trying to steal their resources. Right? So, like, I mean, that's where the people are.
And that's why, like I said with COVID, like, all this money came out to pretend COVID wasn't a thing, right? And and the podcasters that took that money, you don't even know who they are, right? Because it's just like too much money. It's like, hey, here's $150,000 for your podcast that's making fucking $80 a month, which is us or whatever. I'm just throwing that number out, but we're not making money. And some of these people are like, well, fuck, I'll take it. So that's a lot of people. And that has nothing, that's not even in the same tier as $750 million on online stuff. So that show that's like sort of softening on Israel, you see them softening on Israel, you insult them in their chat and you get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. And to go back to like the COVID thing, they don't even have to tell everybody get back to work or don't get back.
It's subtle.
They can
It's
just
different.
not say anything, or a little bit poke fun at somebody wearing a mask every once in a while, and then just
100% that.
So this is something that Truth to Tweet sent. It's a 6-minute film, but this is 43 seconds of it. But it's been kind of making the rounds in the last couple of days about capitalism, and it's pretty powerful. It's from Argentina. The Employment is the name of the film. It won like 106 awards when it came out a couple of years ago. And this is just a segment of it. But like, this is what they are trying to do to us: rob us of all humanity. You know, I keep thinking about that video that we pulled with the animal wildlife photographers, like
the animals coming up close to them.
Yeah, and the joy on their faces as the animals came to them, and like the humanity, or the Palestinian man whose own animals were slaughtered by Israeli bombs, but now he wants to bring animals to children in Gaza to help heal and therapy, but also to remind them of their own humanity. It is such an evil project to rob people of their humanity. It's a crazy endeavor.
And it's wild to me that it's like, it is such a built-in American project to push this level of individualism above, you know, like, you can work harder and get your shit. Like, that worked 30, 40 years ago, but now we have too many examples of people working their asses off that are fucked in life.
Yeah. Yes.
So the public is not buying it. You can't sell this American shit.
Yeah. It is called, sorry, let me just go back to it. Oh God, did I just delete it? Cause I was so nervous that we weren't going to have enough space. Give me 1 second. Cause I do think I wrote down the title. It's called The Employment, and it was an Argentine film, The Employment.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Okay. I just want to pull this one thing because this made me like, I love this so much because it's just weird and quirky. I know that we're almost done, and the employment and finding joy in like being in nature and with each other, and purpose in life, even if you don't win every time, which I think we're all sort of figuring out for the first time in a different way, where I think, I see the frustration, like when I listen to Brianna Joy Gray and she like wants to like, but who do we vote for? Who do we put up? She still does want to find the person, which I think, there is some part, I think, of all of us who's like, wouldn't it be so great if we could just find the person we could vote for that would change everything and that would be better, right? Like there's a part, I think probably that a lot of us, like, we would all love that, right? But we are very excited that on Wednesday we will be having a Buddha activist who is a frequent member of our chat, but also is a man who's done a ton of work with indigenous communities and activism. And
very excited.
I am so excited. While he has also been working with groups to reveal Canada's complicity in genocide, even when they have said that they are not sending weapons anymore to Israel. And they have discovered that, yes, of course they are, but different points. But then his group is like discovering the different choke points because these weapons are made using equipment and pieces from so many different factories that there are lots of different, what they call hiccups. But all of this stuff, when he talks about indigenous peoples who have not succeeded against the evils that have oppressed them entirely, right? Like they're working towards that, but it's not like, and now we're done and it's all better. There's a lot to learn from people who have to continue the struggle, but still find like joy in their existence and humanity in spite of being so subjugated. It's really beautiful. I'm very excited. We're very excited to have him on Wednesday, but so I just wanted to put that out there. All right. What do you think? Oh, Jen, I'm so jealous. Are you kidding? I have been trying forever. I can't wait to watch tomorrow. He is amazing. Alec Karakatsanis.
Yeah.
I
Tune
will
into that.
everyone. Yeah.
Please.
Definitely watch Revolution.
And tell him to go on Puff. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'll make our presence known tomorrow. He's amazing. He's so smart. His book Propaganda is great. And it's very simple in that like it's easy to read and spells things out very clearly. A lot of it is sort of taken from some of his Twitter threads. And he has a lot of humor. I mean, it's really amazing to me when people who've been working so hard in this horrific system, working with people who are bearing the brunt of all of our evil, still somehow find a way to be pleasant and kind. But that's great. So Revolutionary Change tomorrow. Everybody should check it out. I will certainly be there also.
Amen.
All right. We got another Jessen gift. The rights blacks got in 1964 were doing in the 1800s. Yeah. I mean, and thank you for your super chat. Because I grew up on the propaganda of pull yourself up from your bootstraps and all the sports stories and the meritocracy, and if you just work hard enough and then it's going to come out all right. But it's very hard to reconcile. And I mean, I think we all should be outraged, obviously, that there was slavery in the first place, and then their rights, they didn't get their rights when they were supposed to, and it took forever and all of that kind of stuff. But you can't give up.
No. And just from a white perspective, economically, right? So if you're Lila and I's age or around that, we saw our parents succeed with just survival jobs now. Like you would buy a house as a waitress somewhere.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it was a different world, and it really has changed. And our kids are in a whole different, like, it's to have that example so closely about the difference between what it was when I was young and to now. It's not something you can propagandize your way out of, because too many people know they have somebody just one generation above them with such a different life ahead of them. But that life has always been as fucked in our country for people of color. It's just that it's hitting us white folks now, you know, it's like, it's different.
I mean, and which is like where then it becomes so clear that liberals are also very similar to conservatives when it comes to, like, it's not until it affects them. Like
until it affects them. Yes.
All the SAG actresses who hated me and disavowed me because I wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton and didn't support her. And then they lost their health care a couple of years later.
Wishing them the best. Rot. Get old faster.
All right. This is, listen, well, you know, I will just say again that Pat and I do not support AI typically 99.9% of the time. But I am about to fill up a glass and watch this 4-minute Lego video on our way out because it gave me all the feels that I needed. And, you know, I appreciate it. Never surrender. Keep punching up. Pat, any last words?
We're the pirates now. That means we're the bad guys. We are this guy without the delicious beer. So cheers. We will see you on Wednesday.
Keep punching up.
Yeah. Listen close. This is not fear. This is a warning. We don't bow. We don't break. Never surrender. Yeah. Yeah, Trump said, Neil said, know your place. But pride don't vanish just because of your face. You can send ships, you can send planes, but you can't bomb on the out of our veins. Pressure rising, sanctions fall. Still we standing, still standing tall. You call it power, we call it pain. But pain made fire, not fear. Change lanes from the streets to the skies. People still fight, not for war, but the way to stand right. You want silence, you want control, but some voices louder when the world gets cold. This ain't a threat, this is history loud. Empires come to discipline the crowd. You can shake the land, you can test the ground, but some roots too deep to ever pull down. Never surrender. Hear that sound? Even under fire, we don't back down. No chains, no fear, no borrowed crown. We stand our ground. We stand our ground. Never surrender. Final warning clear. You can bring your power, we still right here. Storms may come, let the whole world see. Some nations bend, yeah. But now we straight to harmless, tension in the sea. One wrong move shakes the world economy. Oil on edge and the markets freeze while politicians talk like it's easy. Families watching with prayers at night. Kids asking why there's always a fight. Leaders talking like it's just a game, but normal people carry that pain. Wake up America, this ain't TV. Every action writes tomorrow's history. You call it victory, we call it scars. Different truth depending who you are. You can't force peace through fire and smoke. Every broken promise becomes a joke. Respect ain't built from threats alone, and no real king rules from a fighting throne. Never surrender. Hear that sound? Even under fire, we don't back down. No chains, no fear, no borrowed crown. We stand our ground. We stand our ground. Never surrender. Final warning clear. You can bring your power, we still right here. Storms may come, let the whole world see. Some nations bend, yeah. But now you hear sirens, we hear survival. You see headlines, We see families. Yeah, you call it pressure. We call it life. And that's why we never surrender. The people remember, the people decide who stood for truth and who only lied. History watching every move you make, even giants fall when the people awake. You can write speeches, you can control press, but truth walks out when the lies get stressed. And when that moment finally arrives, only honor is what survives. So if you came looking for surrender today, take that word and throw it away, because some flags burn and some flags rise, but dignity never truly dies. Never surrender. Louder now, no empire forever, no endless crown. From the streets to the sky, let the message be: we may bleed, but we stay free.